All right, thanks for coming out on a Sunday. Great day to be a New Mexico State Aggie. At 12:27 p.m., I received a telephone call from Alan Young, the executive director, and Ali Farhang, the chairman of the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl, inviting the New Mexico State Aggies as one of the teams, and obviously we accepted with tremendous enthusiasm. It certainly was a historic win last night. It made me feel good, not just as the director of athletics, but as an alum. The outpouring on my phone from alums, friends in the business, it was just been tremendous. The national exposure that this athletic program, the football program, and the institution received was phenomenal. From Stanford Steve to Bear to Scott Van Pelt, talking about our institution and how important a bowl game is. It was just amazing to see such a spotlight shown on Las Cruces, New Mexico, New Mexico State University, and certainly the athletic and the football program. I'm really happy and thankful for our coaching staff and our players. This job isn't an easy one. There's a lot of hurdles that they have to overcome, and I told the guys today, Coach allowed me to speak to the team, amazing what they were able to do when they pulled together, including the coaching staff. I'm also unbelievably happy for every former player that's ever played here, and certainly all alumni and all the fans that have supported us, and especially the ones that were in that stadium to witness history last night. That's just a tremendous feeling. I'm also thankful for our chancellor, Gary Carruthers. Gary, I call him the boss man. He did a lot of great stuff for the football program. He's the reason why that turf is there. Had a big donation, with the renovation of the locker room, the Club 27. There's been a ton of upgrades that he has been personally responsible for, as well as bringing Doug and I on board of this institution. And I also want to thank our regents. They're unbelievably supportive of intercollegiate athletics, and they're very involved, and we're really happy that they are as well. Finally, and I know that we're going to have a printout for everybody once we know who our opponent is, but we will have a dedicated website or dedicated bowl website on our NewMexicoStateSports.com. So it'll be NewMexicoStateSports.com/bowl. That'll have all the ticket information, and we'll get that out today. We'll certainly recognize the football team at today's basketball game, so all our fans will be able to have that information, and all alums around the country. I am expecting and anticipating a tremendous turnout from Aggie Nation. With all the alums in New Mexico, with all the alumni in Arizona, and a drivable distance to Tucson, I am expecting to sell out our allotment and have that stadium in crimson and white. So we're really excited about that. The last thing I'll say is I know one of our point people for the external stuff will be Chet Savage. That's Savage C at nmsu.com. People, questions about tickets, hotels, like I said, all that information will be put out on the website, but you can contact him and any of us as well. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, just echoing what Mario said, I thought the atmosphere last night was just that was awesome. I mean, that was college football at its best. And the way our students were dancing around the band, and the officials came over and warned me about the band being too loud about 5 times. It was just awesome. I just kept telling them we don't even control the band. They're out of control. So it was that was just a great atmosphere, and that's what it can be like every Saturday here in Las Cruces. That's been my vision, that football here can look like that every Saturday, and I really believe it can. And if people would jump on board with us and like that, then man, there's no telling what we can't do here. I mean, it's unbelievable. We could do some amazing things. The student body was just remarkable, and then players and coaches, man, what a great group of players we have here, particularly this senior class. We said before, that's the first class that we recruited here, and we sold them on a dream of changing a program, and that's the Larry Roses and Dalton Harringtons and all those guys, and man, they did it, and boy, they deserve all the credit in the world. And then following up on what Mario said too, our assistant coaches, we've just got a phenomenal group of assistant coaches here. I mean, they all hit the road early this morning to go recruiting, and got a lot of ammunition to recruit with right now, so that's some fun. But then the national exposure that we're getting, this is what a really good football program can do for a university. I mean, it can help enrollment, it can help a lot of things, the morale of this city, this university, everything. We're all over ESPN right now, which is just great, and it's bringing a lot of notoriety to this great university. I mean, this is a fantastic place to go to school and to live. And, when we bring parents and recruits here, they're always amazed. They hadn't been here before seeing this place and what a great place it is. So now people outside of here are getting to see a lot about us. And this bowl game gives us an opportunity to do that on a national level. And no matter who we're playing, we're certainly going to be excited to be there and look forward to playing our best football game of the year. And I can't thank Mario enough, and President Carruthers, the Regents, everybody that's been behind us here. We've got something really special going here, and our deal now is moving it forward. This is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of the journey, and we certainly need to move forward from here with our fans and fan base and everything, just to keep this program moving, because we got a great team coming back next year too, and we want to keep this building. So thank all of you.
We'll go to questions. Mario, this is Derek Gonzalez from the New Mexico State Roundup. Would you happen to know why you don't know who the team's opponent will be in the Arizona Bowl yet?
The way the bowls are selected, you have conference affiliations. Obviously, TV, plays a massive portion of the selection process. So, right before we walked in, our opponent has not been decided upon yet. We thought we knew who our opponent was, but, I think that makes it that much more exciting. As soon as we find out, I'm sure they'll release it, and I would assume that's going to be really, really quickly.
What was the phone conversation like? Patrick Hayes, who's trying to...
It was great. Obviously, with the Sun Belt having 5 tie-ins, along with, after yesterday's games, 5 qualifying teams, it seemed like a no-brainer that, we would be selected for the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. But with our tenure in the Sun Belt coming to an end, and quite frankly, with 57 years of drought, you want to get a stamped invitation. So it was great to receive that telephone call. Both the executive director and the chairman got on, and I told them we would do every single thing we could to make sure that every single Aggie fan was in that stadium and make it look really good. So it was very exciting to receive the call, to say the least.
Doug, you're in a bowl game. How do you approach practice, all this? I mean, are you familiar with, how familiar are you with the bowl experience?
Yeah, I went to 2 bowl games when I was at the University of Kentucky, and we went to 5 at East Carolina University when I was there, so I'm familiar with this. There's a lot of advantages to bowl prep. You get to work a lot with your younger players. It's like having an extra spring practice. We have to develop a quarterback for the future here, and we've got some great young prospects, and so we're going to spend some of our time doing that, getting those guys acclimated and ready to take over for next year, as well as preparing for this bowl. And told the players today, the big thing, because none of our players obviously have been in this environment before, what they're going to remember about this is not the activities and all those things surrounding the bowl. It's going to be the game. They're going to remember the score of this game and play in this game. And so we're going to prepare as best we can, like I said, to play our best football game. And that'll start next week. We've got finals this week, so our guys are going to concentrate on academics this week, do some lifting and running, but we won't do any practice this week until finals are over. And we'll start next week in our prep, give the players a couple of days off for Christmas. I want them to be able to go home and see their families, and then they'll arrive back here Christmas Day. We'll practice here the 26th, and then head to Tucson after that.
Coach Martin, Arizona's been a place that you've recruited quite heavily recently. Tyler Rogers, Josh Aganon, Roy Lopez are all from the Phoenix area, which is only a couple hours away from Tucson. How good is this for you to be able to play in a bowl game in an area that you recruit heavily? Yeah,
it's great. It's awesome for those young men because they're going to play in front of their home crowd again. But moving forward, we have several young men committed already from Arizona for this year, and that is an area that's been very good to us recruiting-wise, high school and junior college-wise, so it's only going to help propel us a little bit farther. And, it couldn't have worked out better for us. We're really excited about being there. And, the Dallas Cowboys can show up. We're going to play. So we don't care who it is.
Coach, ABC7, you have no real injuries. Looks like everybody's healthy. You're going to come in there 100%.
Yeah, we're healthy-ish for this time of year. I would say, what Tyler did last night was remarkable. I mean, he really had a banged-up shoulder and played through a lot of pain. And to throw for 451 yards, and I look today, he's second in the nation right now in passing yards per game behind Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State. He just passed Baker Mayfield and Josh Rosen from UCLA. That's pretty good company to be in, and really proud of what he did. And we had several other guys that have played banged up. Ron LaForce, our safety, has played with a broken foot for 5 weeks and doesn't complain, wears a boot whenever he's not in practice and just takes the boot off to practice and puts it back on. And every team kind of has those stories at this time of year. But we're about as healthy as you could possibly be for this time of the season. We've got a good 3 weeks here to get healthy for this game, which is really going to help us. So I think probably by the time we get the game, we should be in great shape.
Coach Martin, Idaho obviously went to a bowl game last year. You guys in your final year in the Sun Belt are able to go to a bowl game. Now both of you are not in the Sun Belt anymore. I guess what does it mean to finish out your time in that league with the bowl appearance?
Yeah, I think, the Sun Belt has been a great stop for us. It gave us, I don't think it was ever intended maybe to be the long-range home, but it was a great place for us to be. They've been very good to us. It's helped us in several areas. So now I told the players today, every Saturday that we go out now, we're an independent. And we've got to look at things like it's an us against the world. It's anybody, anytime, anywhere. That's our motto, and we're going to go play. And every week we play, we're auditioning for another conference. And I certainly think that we are an attractive program, not only football, but basketball, baseball. I mean, you look at all the sports here are successful. So I think that we can, as football, we can help promote that to maybe all of our sports getting in one conference somewhere down the line. And like I say, this is another audition for us.
I guess I broke the rules last time. So Eric O'Brien, CBS 4. For both of you guys, you've had this success. And the school down the road, UTEP, goes 0-12. They've got millions more in their budget. How has this program been able to be so successful with so little?
Well, I tell you what, we really focus on what we're doing. Obviously with our geography, we're very cognizant of our rivals, and we always want to win those games. But, dwelling on what they have versus what we don't, what they're allowed to do, compared to what we're not allowed to do, that doesn't really help move things forward. I think focusing on what we have and how we can maximize it. And quite frankly, I do think, if I may say so, because I think we try to do this in the administration, Doug, I think, has done an outstanding job of putting that chip on your shoulder. That can be an unbelievably effective motivation tool, not just for football, but for administration too. And, we feel like we're the underdogs a lot, and, so I think, we kind of come out swinging, whether it's admin or whether it's football. So, I certainly don't wish ill will on our opponents unless we're playing them. We're all from the same region. We want the state to look really good. We want the region to look really good. So, we're not, from the admin, we're not rooting against UNM or UTEP at all, only when we're playing them. So I'm just unbelievably pleased, because I think if the general fan knew where we are from a budgetary standpoint and the constraints that Doug has from a recruiting standpoint and a number of coaches standpoint, and we're working to change that. But right now, it's nothing short of phenomenal. Since you asked the question, we went 2 months with having one home football game, okay? We were only one of 2 institutions in the country, the Naval Academy being the other one, to have 5 home games and not to play an FCS opponent that's bowl eligible. Let that sink in a little bit for Aggie Nation. So does this guy deserve credit? Couldn't give him enough credit.
Yeah.
It's a Mountain West. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Mountain West tie-in. Is that what does that matchup mean for you guys to get to play another Mountain West team? If everything goes
I mean, right now, I don't think we know who it's going to be. So, but if it's a Mountain West school, that's great. A lot of those were the old WAC, so our fans are very familiar with most of those schools. And, I think there'd be some, maybe some old rivalries there that would be good. But like I say, we're excited to go play, man. We don't care who shows up. It's been 57 years. We'll play anybody.
Coach Sam Bradley, Mesilla Valley News. So to speculate, but it's been 57 years, just like you said. How poetic would it be? I mean, I know you've heard Scott Van Pelt's remarks. How poetic would it be if your opponent was Utah State, the last bowl opponent the Aggies faced 57 years ago?
Well, I mean, that'd be great. I know that's a really good football program that's really, come a long ways also, facility-wise and winning-wise, and they have great tradition there now. Merlin Olsen, one of the best defensive linemen ever played, played at that school and left a great legacy there. So that'd be great. But again, I tell you, right now it's more about us and controlling what we do, and our players being ready to play this game is the biggest thing for us, and that's what we're concentrating on, just trying to help them through this process and understanding how you prepare for one of these games.
What was the team's reaction, Coach, when you told them you guys are going to the Arizona Bowl?
I mean, they're just thrilled. I mean, these guys, they've been through so much. Like Mario said, our schedule has been just absolutely brutal. I mean, you look at the trips that we've been on and not playing an FCS team, and some things are out of our control. We play Appalachia State and have some playing issues and don't get there till 4 in the morning. Our kids haven't blinked, man. They've showed up every Saturday. And I was talking to our strength coach earlier today. I can only remember one practice this entire season where we actually had to get on our players about practicing harder and let's go type of thing. That's remarkable. That means you got a great group of seniors that are tremendous leaders. So they're just excited about playing. I think they're a very confident group, and they should be. They've done some remarkable things this year. What Coach Spaziani and our defense have done is amazing, and our offense has been very consistent all year. So this is just a great group of young men.
Just to give you a chance to brag here for a second, who's maybe the top names, most known people that have called you and congratulated you personally?
Oh, Julian Edelman, who I'm very close to. I coached Julian in college, and he sent out some tweets. And Josh Cribbs, who I also coached in college and played with the Cleveland Browns, sent out some tweets. Devon House, who played here at New Mexico State, has been texting us and sent out some tweets also. So, those are just some of the guys that, keep up with us. But there's been a lot. Now, I tell you, and I would echo what Mario said, the most moving and probably emotional conversations I've had are with former players that I hadn't even met before, that just came up to me after the game and introduced themselves. And, Coach, I played here in '72, or I played here in 2001, and these guys had tears in their eyes. And, man, it was just awesome. So, we're so thankful for those people. And hope they all get to the bowl game, because they're all a part of this. Every one of those guys that have bled and sweat here and put the work in are all part of this. And that's what's making it a lot of fun.
Coach Martin, a couple weeks ago, Chancellor Carruthers made some questionable comments on a local TV outlet about if you were to get stuck out too far east, it could be a financial problem for the fans. How much of a relief is it that you'll get to stay close to home, and how is that going to – I know other schools were using that against you in recruiting, and how comforting is that, knowing that you don't have to worry?
Well, yeah, I think all that was resolved. I mean, we would have played on the moon. If there was a bowl game on the moon, I don't think that was ever really in question. And, we're certainly appreciative of all the support we've had here from the university. It's been great. So that really hasn't been a factor for us, and we haven't really talked about that as a team. We've just been focusing on getting here, and, now we're here. And so now for us, it's a question of what are we going to do with this? We've got a great opportunity here in front of us. So we can't just say, okay, well, it's going to be status quo. We don't want it to be another 57 years, right? So we want to know what we're going to do from here to keep this program moving forward, and that's what we're anxious to find out.
I'll cut in on the next question. I just got a text. It's Utah State confirmed.
Utah State.
Utah State.
Last question I have for you. I talked to both of you guys on the field. When all that chaos is gone, when you're out of the locker room, how'd you celebrate when you finally left?
I went home, went to bed, did I? I haven't slept since August, so it's I had a young man that played for me at Kent State, Brian Lanehart, that flew all the way here for this game. and he and his wife were here, stayed with Vicky and I. And, so we went home and just celebrated with them. We went to Mario's tailgate, which is always entertaining. If anybody wants to partake in that, that's always fun. So we did that, and then we just went home and enjoyed it. And yeah, I think it's been this morning before I've been able to relax and really kind of appreciate what we just did, as a football team and how it's impacted this city. And I was standing up at the top of the ramp after the game and watching everybody still celebrating on the field, and that was the best view. I mean, that was just awesome watching that. And can't thank people enough again for what everybody's done here to help make this moment happen. There's been a lot of people that have helped make this moment happen.
Now that it is Utah State.
I will say this: there was rumors, because I know we could see some people in the press box, that there was a group of folks who went down the 50-yard line, may have rang the bell a little bit, Coach, may have uncorked a bottle of champagne, may have sung the fight song, but I can't confirm any of that.
Allegedly.
It's Utah State. Can you just, what's your familiarity with their athletic department? And obviously, you guys have them scheduled as an independent opponent with a home and home, so I think it's a good chance to play a good rematch for the 1960 Sun Bowl.
Sure, I think that makes for an even better storyline. John Hartwell is their athletic director, good buddy of mine. He was the AD at Troy. Before that, he was at Ole Miss. He had texted me a few days ago and said, "Hey, man, it looks like we could hook up in the bowl." And I said, "Man, I hope not, because we're tired of every time we go to a bowl, we're playing you guys." So he got a good chuckle out of that. But, Logan, Utah, good community. I think it's great because we have such a familiarity with them, with the Western Athletic Conference. I know David Yost is up there as either their quarterback's coach or OC, and he was a guy that I was with at Mizzou, so that'll be a nice little reunion. I know my wife and his wife had already been going back and forth. So I think it's an exciting opponent. It's a similar opponent. I don't know if Braun stepped out, but I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't think we have them in 18, right? Do we have them in 19?
It's next year in 2021.
Is that when it is? Okay. So, but that was our goal, is to play regional, or to schedule regional opponents that the fan base has a familiarity with. So I think from, the administration standpoint, it's exciting. It's a state school, and it's a regional school.
Coach, what about just, you were asked earlier, it's kind of interesting that the last time you were in a bowl game, you played the exact same.
Yeah, I wasn't even born the last time we played in a bowl game, so I wouldn't know anything that happened in that game. I'll have to go back and look it up. But, no, I mean, we're excited. I mean, obviously, Utah State, again, really good football program, and it has been in bowl games recently. They're used to this. Our players aren't. So, we've got to do a good job of preparing our guys, and we'll get to work on them immediately. But looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great matchup.
Let's have a little fun here. They're going to make a movie about this one day. Who plays each of you?
Oh, nice. Go ahead.
They'll probably get Danny DeVito to play me, so I don't know. Yeah, I was hoping for Brad Pitt, but I don't know if they could sell that.
Well, I don't know. It's got to be somebody bald. So my numbers are limited here. I don't know who that would be. I don't know, but it'd make a great movie. I don't know if anybody will believe it, but it'll be a great movie.
Patrick Stewart, maybe, the guy from Star Trek. Is that what
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Sir Patrick.
Who plays Boo?
Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
That's all I got.
Any other questions? How soon do you expect to get film?
Immediately. We'll have it by tomorrow. I'm sure we'll trade out with them. And that stuff is over computer, internet now, so it's so fast you can get that immediately. So we'll be at work tomorrow.